Hello everyone, I am Andrew, and this is Discovering the Truth. Now in today's video, I have decided I want to make a compilation video. Basically, a bunch of videos that I'm going to put all into a playlist. And that's going to be discussing each and every cryptid type monster and the backstory behind it. And also trying to tell people that you can't believe everything you read on the internet. Because a lot of this stuff, they try to make it out like it's not real, it doesn't exist, it's made up, and you're just crazy. A prime example of this is if you go on Cryptid Wikia. I'm not talking bad about the website, but the fact that, people encounter things all across the entire world. And the fact that all the things that I've read on here, it's not trying to, tell you that it's real or not, but the fact that it's like, it blatantly tells you that these things are fake or internet hoaxes or something of that nature. Now, if you watched any of my older videos, I had an encounter with something just like this, and it was a pale crawler. I know what I experienced. I know what I encountered. I know what I seen with my own two eyes. Now, for the longest time, before even coming forth with my own personal story and sharing it to all of you, I thought I was crazy. And I honestly thought that I was misidentifying it. I thought it wasn't real. I thought maybe it was something else. But over time of realizing that it's not one person, it's not 10 people, it's not 100. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of people encounter strange and bizarre things each and every day. Some people experience them in the woods. Some experience them at their own house. Some people experience them walking on, a public walking trail. But no matter where it happens at, is people experience these things. From pale crawlers to Mothman, Bigfoot, Dogman, so many different ones. So I want to make a compilation video just talking about each of these creatures, giving a little bit of backstory from this website called Cryptid Wikia, which I only take this place with a grain of salt because they're not going to tell you if these things truly exist or not. They're going to basically make it out as they're not real, they're made up, and you're just simply crazy. But I just want to tell you all, you're not crazy, you're not making it up, they are real. I know from my own personal experience that I have seen two different types of cryptid monsters, and I was told that these things do not exist. They only exist in TV shows, movies, or video games. But in reality, they very much do live. They walk among us, and you just have to have eyes to see. So anyways, let's talk about this, and this can be number one. These are going to be shorter videos where I'm just going to discuss, what they're telling you on this website, but also giving you my personal opinions and seeing if it matches up with what I actually experienced. Now, a lot of cryptids I have not experienced, so therefore I'm just going to talk about it and just give my general idea and thoughts on them. So this is episode 1, Pale Crawlers. Let's dive into it. So it says pale crawlers are a phenomenon which usually involves a humanoid entities that appear at night, typically in abandoned buildings or forest and other heavily wooded areas. Now, my personal experience with one of these strange creatures is it was a humanoid type entity. It did appear at night, except mine was more of very, very early morning, about 3 o'clock in the morning. It was not abandoned, but it was in a foresty type area. And it was kind of heavily wooded, but not really, really dense. So I do agree with that. So let's continue reading. They are a humanoid creature described as thin and pale with long limbs with claws and large black eyes. Some sightings describe their eyes as having white pupils that glow in the dark. The sounds they make are usually described as screeching. They are known to be incredibly fast, stealthy, smart. While unconfirmed, it is likely that pale crawlers are hyper aggressive. Now, I will say that what I saw, if you have not watched my previous video where I told my own personal story of a pale crawler, it is like a human. What I saw, it resembled a human. It had a head, arms, legs, torso. Its skin was pale. It was not wearing any clothing. It was very, very emancipated, very, very thin. If you watch my video, it honestly resembles kind of like an anorexic type human, except a lot larger. Large black eyes. I wouldn't say black eyes. I would say black sockets. Like I said in my video, it was kind of like taking a human skull and stretching skin around it really, really tight. And it has very big eye sockets, but they're just black. And when it does say, it's like a light glowing. Where was that at? Oh yeah, right here. Black eyes. Some sites describe their eyes as having white pupils. Now, see, I do agree with that. It kind of resembled this right here, or more like this, except mine, the one that I actually experienced, the eyes were a little bit, like the black was just as big, but the pupils were not filling up the entire hole. It was more like taking two black circles and putting a light in each eye, like a smaller light, but it glue. Screeching, yeah, I could definitely say that it made like a screeching type sound, but it wasn't like a screeching. It was more of a very unsettling, like scream or screech. I'm not really sure, but it was definitely extremely disturbing. Known for being incredibly fast. Yes, I agree with this 100% because when I personally had my experience with one of these things, it was unbelievably fast. Like, it was not natural for something to be able to move that fast. And its movements were very jerky and just something that a human could not do. It just would not be possible for a human to be able to move and jerk the way that this thing does. Stealthy, yeah. If you watched my video of my own personal experience with, one of these things, it was extremely quiet. For something that's so large, and for it to be as quiet as it was honestly completely mind-blowing. So, I mean, it was like it moved like a ghost. Like, I don't even know, like a shadow. I don't know how to explain it, but it was very, very terrifying that something this large could move so quietly. Like, it could sneak up behind you if it wanted to, in a heartbeat. Now, the whole hyper-aggressive thing, this could be very much true. Now, the one that I encountered, and I've encountered it a total of 8 times, I have not seen this thing in a very long time, which I'm very glad for, that I do not see this thing anymore. I made a video on that too. I don't know if another type of cryptid monster chased mine off, I don't know, but I did experience a dogman in my backyard. I experienced a pale crawler in my backyard, and then all of a sudden, just one day, I went out towards the woods at night and I seen something that was very large, a lot bigger than the pale crawler that I've seen, and ever since that day I have not encountered this thing anymore. I don't know if they correlate. I don't know if one took the other one out or they take over territories, but I have not also experienced, the dogman that I seen back there anymore. So I don't know. Maybe it wasn't a dogman. Maybe it was a guardian angel. I don't know. But anyways, let's continue. Hyper aggressiveness, though, I could definitely see it. So I definitely say that if you do have an encounter with one of these, I definitely would not chase it into the woods, because it might be the last time anyone ever hears of you ever again. Because they're not your friends. Definitely not. Let's see what else it says. Points that the pale crawlers are seemingly an internet folklore invention, much like the black stick man. or the black carpet or Antarctic spiders. You see what they do right there? See, they say this is a mythological folklore invention. See, I find this to be upsetting to me because if you take some random person and they've experienced something like this and they're scared to death to go out to the public and tell the world. So they go on the internet and they're like, oh, Wikia, let's go there. They tell you everything. And then they're going to tell you, oh, it's just mythological. It's just a folklore. It's just an invention of somebody off the internet. It's not real. You just misidentified it. Those are not real. You're just crazy. You see where it starts? See, that's how I felt when I experienced this for the first time. I felt like I was losing my mind. I honestly felt like I was crazy. And it was very hard for me to come out and tell my story. But once I told my story, and once I got the confidence to talk about these things, I don't care what anybody has to say about me. I know what I experienced. I know what I've seen. I know what I felt. And it was not something of this world. And it was not an alien. This was a creature, a living, breathing creature, some type of supernatural creature. I don't know. But I believe that these things are very much real. They are a living, breathing, organic creature. And I believe they pass through the veil. And unfortunately for people, they have encounter with these. Some people see them. Other people see them and disappear. I think these things are attacking people in national parks. Dogman, Bigfoot, pale crawlers, Mothman, all these different types of monsters. And I think it has a lot to do with people disappearing because, there's a lot of stories of people being beckoning to the woods by voices. If you watch my other videos, people talk about fairies and how fairies, beckon you to come to the woods and then you vanish. Other strange creatures out by the water that, are stalking you. There's so much going on here. But anyways, I'll stop the rant. Let's continue. Now it says, while similar creatures existed before the internet like the Wendigo or the Dover Demon, the pale crawler sightings and stories about encountering them started appearing for the first time in the early 2000s. The advent of the internet starting with the rake creepypasta, the creation of the infamous Louisiana swamp monster image. The pale crawlers were also seemingly a source of the inspiration for the infamous SCP Foundation universe monster called SCP-096. Now, the Louisiana swamp monster is actually this right here. This was on a trail cam that made national news where this creature right here was a picture taken of it. Now, mind you, they put that in here, but as you look right here, it says that it is the rake creepypasta. Now, this picture right here came out before the rake. The rake was nothing at all before this. This is what they based the rake off of. I believe so. I could be wrong. I don't look into all of that stuff. But the rake supposedly is this creature that looks just like this. And the SCP Foundation, if you don't know what this is, it's actually a computer game where there's this foundation that hunts and captures these strange creatures, cryptids, all around the universe, or I think all around the world, something like that. And they give them these weird names of like SCP, different numbers, stuff. My kids know about it. They've told me about it before. And they said there is one that looks just like this right here. Now, again, more stuff pointing to it's just based off of a creepypasta. It is a mythological folklore invention, or it's based off of something from a video game. That's funny, because I know what I saw, I know what I experienced, and it was not something off a video game. It was not a creepypasta. And if it was, well, I guess that the power of the human voice is more powerful than what people think, or the power of the human mind. Because You know, maybe it was spoken into existence. Maybe so many people started believing it was real and it became a real life entity. I don't know, but I know what I experienced. I know what I've seen. And if anybody doesn't know, I live in North Carolina. I don't live that far away from the Appalachian Mountains. And I think all of that correlates to one another. So it says the pale crawlers gained a second wave of popularity during the late 2010s and 2020s with the advent of the scary story videos on YouTube and channels such as Unit 522 Mr. Nightmare. Pale crawlers are frequent modules, scary stories, typically called unknown creatures or skinwalkers in them. Now, if we go down here where it says confirmed sightings, this is June 14th, 2008, near Forsyth area, Higgins Lake, Michigan, in which 2 unnamed men were injured and 1 was killed. Police passed it off as a bear attack. Officially, bear attack is unlikely, as the video that has since been lost was shown up to disprove that theory. July 23rd, 2013, upstate New York, near a crawler was seen by a park ranger who would lose his job due to unruly conduct, poor mental capabilities. You see, like right here. You know, I'm not going to read all this because it's a lot, but you can look up this website yourself because there's a lot of, like, you know, sightings. If there was all these sightings and you have a gentleman that is a park ranger, okay, a park ranger, it's a really good job. You get to be in nature, you know, you get to experience a lot of really neat and cool, interesting things. But this guy would lose his job because of him speaking out about what he saw. There's something wrong with that. But he knows what he's seen. He knows what he experienced. And he was willing to do whatever it took to get the evidence out there. And what they say? Oh, he has poor, you know, mental health. Again, calling people crazy for no reason. But that's just what happens. And I mean, you can look. You have a sighting in June 14, 2008, July 23rd, 2013, April 19th, 2022. And you have unconfirmed sightings. And this one is April 2nd, 1946. June 7th, 1988. Hey, that's the year I was born. Then there's 2 of the most infamous photos of pale crawlers are fake. The first one is that's obviously fake, and now this one's fake. The second picture is even more infamous, and this iconic internet scary photo is used. Monster including a skinwalker. To this day, no one is sure where the picture came from. The comment exists. This picture was part of a viral marketing campaign for a video game called Resistance 3, but this has not been debunked. Really? Okay, this right here. Okay, I'm a gamer, and you can probably tell. I mean, it's kind of a mess in here because this is being turned into like a kid's playroom once I get everything established inside. But I'm a gamer. I'm into that. I enjoy my games. But Resistance has nothing like this in it. But this is what they tell you, that this right here is obviously fake. That doesn't even look real. That honestly looks like something that somebody made up. It looks like a chicken or something. I don't know. Anyways, this right here, if this was supposedly a marketing campaign for a video game called Resistance, but it has not been debunked. So if it was about this game, why would this game not take the publicity? Because this right here went viral. It was on the actual news. So if it was to, you know, boost this game's, you know, recognition, why has this not been debunked? But see, this is what happens when you go and you start looking into these things. This is what you get. And it bothers me a lot because I know my own personal experiences, and I know what I went through when it came to holding this story in and never speaking about it, because this is what I was met with. This is what I was told. And then all you get is these drawings of these things, or you get this stuff based off of these video games, and then therefore that's what you get. Yeah, and see, this is the whole, I'm not going to read all this, but you guys can look this up. This is the supposedly pictures. There's another one right here of pell crawlers that have, had sightings. Now, before I end this video, I just want to say this, is pell crawlers are very much real. There's been thousands of cases and sightings of these creatures. There's been multiple park rangers, and you can actually do the research. There's been a lot of park rangers that have seen these and experienced them, and they've actually lost their jobs on behalf of that. And that's because I believe there's a much bigger picture to this. I think it is definitely a national park, government, military cover-up on these things right here. And it's funny to me because the SCP games, the Foundation, well, if you don't know, the game is actually a black site military type organization that knows that these cryptid monsters exist, except they keep it covered up, and they go out and they capture them or try to take them out. That's kind of funny that it's based off of that, but that's literally what that is they capture them and put them in like this, strange prison. I don't know all the details. I've never played the game myself, but I've heard about it. My kids talked about it. I just find that to be funny. But do not be discouraged, and don't allow yourself to believe all this nonsense that you read and are told. If you saw something and you saw something, you've seen something. It's not you misidentifying, because I honestly told this story to somebody before, and you know what they told me? That I saw a person on drugs. So you're trying to tell me that there is a person that is completely nude, with pale skin, with glowing eyes, that was about 7 to 8 foot tall, that moved faster than any animal could even move on this planet, and did it completely silently, and then made unnatural noises? I guess so. And I guess that same person on drugs went from where I first seen it, and then somehow found out where I lived. I guess they have super sense of smell too, so I guess he smelled me and came all the way to me. Anyways, I'm being sarcastic. No, it's because this is what they do to get people discouraged and tell people to be quiet, because they don't want you to know the truth about these things. They do exist. They do live among us. And if you have your own personal story, you need some, a way of talking about it, or somebody helping you through your story, please reach out to me, because I'm trying to build this channel, but I'm also trying to build this community, because there's so many people out there that are too afraid to come forward and tell their stories. I've had 2 people reach out to me, they're in my older videos, that told me stories, but they were too afraid to come on to my channel and tell it themselves, because they were afraid to be ridiculed or judged. And if you are, worried about that, of course you can just send me your story and I'll tell it. But people need to actually speak up and don't be afraid, because you're not alone. There's a lot of us out there that have experienced these things, and we felt alone, but thanks to other YouTubers and thanks to other people, that we can all come together and help each other in these times, because I know what I experienced, I know what I felt, I know what I went through, and it was very hard. But anyways, this was episode 1, the Pell Crawlers. Next week I don't know which one I'm going to do yet, but look out for that one. I might do Bigfoot, Mothman, Dogman. I don't know. It might be one of them SCPs. No, I'm just kidding. I'm being sarcastic because it upsets me. But anyways, I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Please, it's free. Like and subscribe. Help out a smaller YouTuber. Help out a fellow North Carolinian. If you live in North Carolina, hit me up down in the comments down below. But the biggest thing is do not make people make you feel like you're crazy. If you saw something, most likely you saw something. So, anyways, thank you for all the support. Greatly appreciate it. And I am Andrew, and this is Discovering the Truth. It is my mission, it is my goal to try to discover the truth of what is going on. And I will not stop until, one, I build this channel up big enough to where I can actually go out and investigate more. And also, I want to bring you guys the best content that I possibly can to help out people that have had experiences and maybe people that are just curious, or they may know someone that had an experience. But with that all being said, thank you everyone, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next one. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. I'm out of here.